Witchfire. Is it good? Yes. I mean, there you have it. That's what you came here to learn, right? Okay, cool. But no, there's got to be more to that, right? There's got to be more than just, oh yeah, it's a good game. And yes, there is more to that. Just like with all games, there is of course more to that. There is more nuance than just, is it good or is it bad? So maybe the question really is this game the type of game for you? Let's run through that. To those of you that are new here, welcome. My name is Jace. I am a streamer, I am a content creator, and I am a filmmaker. But I love my video games, and I love giving a little bit of a different type of review. So let's get right into that. Now, before we get into actually reviewing anything, no, I'm not going to give it any number score. I'm not going to do anything like that. If you want to, you can go find those other places. What I want to do is give you the type of information that you are most likely going to need to know whether you are the type that's going to want to buy this game and feel like you're getting your money's worth out of it. So yes, there's a lot of stuff that you can look up on what Witchfire is, but the way that I would describe it based on my time playing this game is it is a roguelike with extraction shooter elements. And yeah, that pretty well covers it. This game is especially good for people that like first-person shooters and anything with a little bit of a cool fantasy twist. Now, just to state as well, this game, as of recording this, is currently in its alpha stages. So it is still very early on in the development of the game, and some things may have been updated. Actually, as of when I'm recording this, there are still 3 maps that are completely not playable. They just have the little placeholders for them, so there will definitely be updates. And definitely, if you're watching this at any time in any sort of distant future, if there is an updated review of this game, it will be in the comments down below, so make sure to check that out if you want the most up-to-date review of the game. Now, we've already covered that this is a good game. The graphics are great, the way that the game plays is great, the gameplay loop is fantastic, it is fun, it has great pacing to it. Now, now you're asking, cool, that's all great, but is it worth the money? Well, let's start off here. Again, if you're a fan of roguelike games, if you enjoy first-person shooters, if you enjoy things with some extraction shooter elements that fear that little bit of risk to, hey, am I going to stay in the map or am I going to go back to a safe space, then this game should definitely be on your radar. Now, a lot of my most recent first-person shooter experience, and probably the game that I have the most time in as far as a first-person shooter, is Destiny 2. And a lot of the way that the guns work in terms of them each being unique and having power-ups, for instance, actually reminds me of a lot of the way that Destiny 2 does some of its guns. Now, before you let that turn you off, there is a much different way that Witchfire does their guns as opposed to Destiny 2. There aren't worries about balancing things. Every gun feels good, even if it's not a gun that I particularly like using. And yes, I do have my favorite weapons out of the weapons that I have been able to unlock and upgrade and been able to use in game. All of the guns do feel powerful. They do all have their uses, and it's more about what guns feel good for you and your playstyle rather than what's considered meta, which in my opinion is a huge strength to the game. So if you're the type of person that has a 9-to-5, if you have kids, if you have other responsibilities or other things that you like doing, and you just want a game that you can get into and have a fun experience with a great story, this is absolutely a game that you can get into and really enjoy that. You can really enjoy that experience of hopping in and not feeling like your favorite weapons have fallen out of the meta, or, oh, well, suddenly they released this new thing and this is the thing that I have to grind for and I have to get in order for this game to be good. Whatever your play style is, however it is that you enjoy playing these types of shooters, there is a gun or really there are multiple guns that will work for whatever type of build that you want to do. And speaking of the ability to just hop in and have fun, while the game doesn't really hold your hand and explain every little tiny nuanced piece of everything in the game is rather easy to figure out. And it gives you a whole lot of room to experiment with things and actually take the time to learn them. And that experience in the game is very rewarding. It gives you the chance to upgrade things, to change things, to try new things. And then you get that immediate feedback and you can feel yourself getting better at the game the more runs that you do. Now, one of the things that I remember from one of the trailers of Witchfire is them talking about you can approach this game however you want to, and that is 100% true. You can spend time leveling up, you can spend time making sure that you get different guns, you can spend more time exploring and unlocking some of the mysteries. Even at this early point, there is a whole lot to do. And that's especially true when it comes to the gameplay loop. Now, one of the things that makes the gameplay loop also incredibly rewarding is the fact that while the maps stay the same, you don't always load into the exact same area, and the density and where the enemies are is completely different every time that you go to play. As well, each time you load into the map, there are different events, different event locations, and sometimes, especially after you have hit certain milestones in leveling up, some of the enemy types that you see will change, and as well as their strength, which, especially in my opinion, hits that perfect balance between being familiar enough that you can feel comfortable in kind of knowing where you are, but each time it is still a different experience, so you're still going to get a fresh enough experience that it's going to keep you coming back for more every single time. While no, I can't speak to what the future will hold for the game or what changes they're going to make, everything that I have seen with every update that I have seen from this game since I started playing it, and with having over 20 hours in the game itself, I have not hit a single point where I was bored or felt too frustrated for any significant length of time. I've had a great time playing this, and especially the ability to just come back to it after playing something else for a little while makes this game extremely fun and something that I'm looking forward to going back and playing more and more, and I'm excited to see where this game goes. So there you have it. That's why Witchfire is a good game, and those are some of the ways that the game is good, especially if those types of things sound good to you, if that's what you're looking for in a game. Witchfire is definitely a game that should be on your radar. As of recording this, the game is available in the Epic Store. I have no idea what it's going to cost when you go to pick it up, but it is definitely worth the price of the game. It is worth checking it out, in my opinion. If you've stayed to the end of this, thank you so much for checking out my review of Witchfire. I hope that I've been able to give you the information that you need to decide whether it is that you want to pick up this game or not. If you have enjoyed this content, make sure to leave it a like. If you've got any comments or any other games that you want to see me review, or any other comments that you have on the Witchfire game itself, make sure to leave those in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you get to see when I release the next review of whatever game it may be, or whatever other piece of content it might be on this channel. But as I always say, be good to yourselves, be good to others, and I'll catch you in the next one.